We are following the money for athletic programs at two of Iowa's public universities. At the University of Iowa, the athletics program pays for itself with ticket sales, broadcasting contracts, and a number of other revenue generators.
But at the University of Northern Iowa, it's a different story. There, students and taxpayers are paying for nearly half the athletics budget. UNI has an athletics budget of just $13 million. That includes nearly $2 million in student fees, nearly $4 million from the university's general fund, and that's roughly 46% of the total budget. KCRG TV9's Chris Earl joins us live from Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, where the Hawkeyes played Illinois tonight. And Chris, the University of Iowa and the University of Northern Iowa have very different game plans when it comes to paying for athletics.
Very much so, Beth. We wanted to be at UNI tonight for this story, but the snow kind of precluded that, so we stayed in Iowa City. Northern Iowa just knocked off Evansville 68-57, so another win in what's been possibly the most unforgettable historic men's basketball season at this point in a season. And Northern Iowa beat Iowa convincingly earlier this year, but there is that disparity. Iowa gets $30 million from the Big Ten Conference. UNI about $1 million from the Missouri Valley. It's that disparity in conference money that also shows that UNI has to be most efficient on an unlevel playing field. This was 2 weeks ago, a convincing home win over Illinois State in front of 6,100 fans. A night where all was right in the world of the University of Northern Iowa. A nearly full arena, moving plenty of merchandise, and another win, part of this 8-week-long winning streak. Success that translates off the court, too.
And it's hard for us as a regional comprehensive institution with 92% Iowa kids to be in the national mindset, but athletics has put us there.
Troy Dannon is on his 7th year as athletic director at UNI. The 17 sports teams he oversees bring in a combined $2.5 million. Two sports, football and men's basketball, account for 92% of that. Out of $13 million for the budget, about $6 million comes from the school's general fund or from student activity fees.
55-56% is one of the least reliant on institutional support of any school in the country. So in our peer group, it's pretty good.
When compared with UNI's Missouri Valley Conference rivals, with basketball and football teams, UNI checks out well. Indiana State needs 71% of its athletic budget subsidized. Illinois State, 65%. Missouri State is far less, though, 36%. How can Northern Iowa be this efficient? Two reasons. Football draws very well, about 12,000 fans for those home games at the Unidome back in 2014. Top 20 attendance for its level of Division I football. The other reason?
The fact that we're generating $4.5 million in gifts, the local people have to step up and buy in. We don't have national sponsors, and we don't have doctors and lawyers who are writing million-dollar checks to us.
In an effort to rely less on the taxpayer-funded university general fund, students are also paying more, $25 more in activities fees each year over the past 3 years.
We'll pay for things instead of taking cuts that hurt our experience, but again, we don't want to pay crazy amounts out of pocket.
The student fee increases will stop next year, but what if the Panthers make a deep run in next month's tournament? How much money will flow into UNI?
All of the revenue that comes from the tournament is allocated to the league. In the Missouri Valley, if we go in, we'll get a check for about $100,000 this year, really to offset any travel costs we have associated with the tournament. But other than that, there is zero windfall for us.
This Saturday, Northern Iowa will play at Wichita State, a game with huge national basketball ramifications. ESPN's Game Day will be there. But once the big tournament starts in about 3 weeks, UNI and Wichita State will be rooting for each other. All the other Valley schools will be rooting for them. That's because each time one of the Valley teams wins in the big tournament, everybody gets paid. Wichita State went to the Final Four 2 years ago. For the next 4 years, UNI will get a check for about $25,000. That's how the system works for big-time college athletics. Online on KCRG.com. Much more on Northern Iowa's place in the athletic universe, along with our 6 o'clock story. We looked at Iowa and its $89 million budget. Reporting live from just outside Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, Chris Earl, KCRG TV9 News.
The University of Iowa, UNI, and Iowa State are all playing on their home courts.
Scott will have